the maximum at 2, reflectivity at 1, and nothing else. I don't use any weathering or whatsoever here, because from the model, this already comes with the rounded edges as well, so it's okay. Then this is a glass shader from Lumion, okay, and this is just a color as well, basically just one color, and with some gloss and reflectivity. One important thing is that you always need to put here on utilities, or if you are using older versions of Lumion, you will find it in the lights. It's the reflection control. With this reflection control, for example, if I remove it, you see that everything turns this bluish white color because it's reflecting the exterior. So it doesn't really know what to reflect. So if you add this reflection control, let me put it back, let's put it here. Now it's reflecting properly, and you can adjust better your materials as well. Now let's go to the render settings. So first, what we'll do, we will make our camera at about 1.2 meters. So let's say, we can even type here 125, I think for this scene is alright. Now the focal length is at 15. I already spoke about this, that we need to have at least 35 because it's the closest to the human eye. So let's increase, but if we increase it, we will not have any close to the view that we've seen in the previous image, right? So what we need to do, we need to go back a little bit. Oops, what happens here? I'm going through the wall. So first effect we're going to add is in advanced, the near clip plane. And this allows you to cut through the geometry. And so you can go through the back of the wall and you'll still see the whole image without the wall blocking the view. Now let's move this up a little bit. You can click on this one to set the horizontal eye level. Okay. Now I'm just gonna tilt a little bit so you can see more of the window. Maybe like so. Okay. I think like this is good. Another thing I want to do, I want already to think of the proportion I'm going to show my image. So I'm going to add some black bars here. And to do this, I'll go to Add Effect. And on Add Effect, I'll go to Artistic and Image Overlay. And now I'm going to load this image. Let me show you here first on Photoshop. It's a PNG image. This part of the background is transparent and this is not. So these black bars will be visible and the rest will be the render. So if for example, if I made the black bars like this, only this part of the render here will be visible. But let's not do that. Let's leave it as it is. Now going back here. Okay, so here I already selected and you can see already these bars. And this helps you a little bit to frame your composition. So I want to go a little bit back and maybe to the right like this. And I want this view, which I have these elements here in these lines. Okay. Now you can go here and this is the opacity and reduce the opacity if you want, but I'll leave it as it is for now. Another important effect that you need, it's to add on the camera, go to the camera effect and add the 2-point perspective. So this 2-point perspective will make your lines, vertical lines straight, okay, it will not be tilted like this, okay. So this is very, very important to add. Also, just click here, Store Camera, okay, so we have this camera position stored, so now every time we accidentally move, we can just double click here and we'll be back to this view. But by the way, about this 2-point perspective, just use it if you are using a more high level, because if you are, for example, let's say you were from the top view, you see that everything becomes distorted, so you would have to disable it in order to use this type of view. So let's go back. The next effect we're going to add is the sun effect. So let's go here, sun, and click sun. I prefer to use the sun and the sky and clouds for interior renders instead of the real skies. I think this gives you more control. So for this one, I'm actually going to leave it as it is. Not going to touch anything else. Like this is fine. Okay. Now, second effect is the sky and clouds, which is on sky and sky on clouds. And now, for this one, I'm going to increase the master cloud amount, the low clouds, and the high clouds, so we have the most diffuse light possible. Now, as for the sky brightness, I'm going to increase just a little bit, and the rest I'm going to leave as it is. Next effect, it's the exposure, so I'm going to camera and exposure, and for this exposure I'm just going to increase it to 0.6, a little bit. Okay, now need to add another one. It's called advanced shadow. For this shadow, let's just decrease this to about here, brightness as well to about here, this sun shadow range just increase it, and this shadow correction decrease, and I like to leave this omni shadow at about 0.1, and click here to turn on the soft shadows and the fine detailed shadows as well. And now let's go again here. Let's add another one called hyperlight. This hyperlight is what makes the light, the natural light, bounce around our scene, and we're going to leave it at 25% is fine. So the more you add this value, the more light bounces you'll have inside your scene. Now let's add a skylight. So this skylight, it's as the name says, it's the light coming from the sky, and now you will define here how much bright you want this skylight to be. So I want it to be like this, and if you increase this saturation, all your scene inside will be with a very intense bluish tone. So let's just leave it at about 1. And this we don't need, these two, for the interior scene. And for now I'm going to leave it at normal, because as you can see here in the tooltip, it's a fast render speed. If you put it at ultra, it will be much slower. So for now, since we are still configuring everything, let's leave it as it is. Next, I'm going to artistic again, and let's add a color correction. On this color correction, I'm just going to increase a little bit the temperature. The brightness, I am going to decrease it to about 0.3, contrast to about 0.7. Saturation I like to decrease a little bit, and the gamma increase to about 0.1. Limit low increase as well. This limit low will make our darker areas darker. And I think that's it for now. Now let's add a reflection effect. So this one, reflection. Let's leave it at low for now. Activate speed ray reflections. And here we can leave it as it is for now. We don't need to edit anything for now. Okay, we already have some reflections here. Now I want to add as well, go to camera and lens flare. I like to add this lens flare, and the bloom amount, I have it on the maximum. And the master brightness just a little bit more. So these areas here will become a little bit overexposed. And actually, since we are here, I think we can just be more like this, so you can see a little bit of this part here as well. Okay, let's just start the camera again. Okay, looking good. Now, one of the things I usually use in this type of interiors, it's the fog effect. It really helps in these scenes. So for the fog, I'm going to decrease a little bit, about here. And everything else, for now at least, I'm going to leave it as it is. Leave it with the white color as well. Now another effect I want to add, it's the global illumination. So let's go here and global illumination. And let's select, let's go here in front, just this one, and holding control this one. And now let's increase this a little bit, about here. Okay. And now this fall off. So if you decrease, it doesn't make much effect. But if you make it all the way to the left, it will overexpose. So let's leave it a little about here, maybe like this. Okay. And Now I want to speak about some effects that you can do here in Lumion, so you don't do Photoshop, make all of those imperfections that I spoke about before. So let's start with the camera and chromatic aberrations. Chromatic aberrations, if you leave it as is by default, you can see it's way too much. So let's just decrease this distortion until about here. So it's just a little bit here. Now let's add a noise. So this noise don't go way too much as well. Just a little bit of intensity. And the vignetting as well. So again, all these effects have to be subtle. So smooth a little bit. Okay. And now lastly, I'm going to add a sharpen effect at about 0.07. Okay. Now let's take first render and see how this is looking. Okay, I think it's looking good, but we still need to add reflection planes, and the skylights we still left it at low. So let's do that now. So let's go to reflection here and click edit, and now let's go to the front. Let's see where we can add. So this here, definitely we are using this. Don't worry about this. We'll increase the threshold of the reflection, and then it will cover about 25 centimeters, so this will not be an issue. Now let's see. We definitely need this panel here, right? And these cabinets. Again, when we check the threshold, it will cover this. We need the floor, of course, the ceiling as well, and I don't think on this wall it will make much difference. And maybe here. Okay, I think that's all. Now let's go here. Let's put this to high and increase the threshold as well. Okay, we can already see on this preview one problem. I'm checking here and I see clearly the reflection of the window and there's nothing outside. So what we can do here, we can go back and edit the reflection. And for this one, just click and just remove it. Now if I put it to high, you see that this reflection will be a little bit more blurred and it will work best for what we want. So now let's go back, let's go to the skylight and ultra, and let's render it again. So I think this now looks quite good. And there you have it. This is my tutorial for a realistic interior render. There is still more to cover, like the post-production and to cover in detail all the materials and all the lightings and textures, but we don't have much time in this free training, so I cover all of that in my Lumion render course. Hopefully I've answered most of your questions in this training. If I didn't cover something you'd like to know, feel free to email me at this email, and I'll try to get around to those as soon as I can. Also, if you have any other questions or doubts about whether this program is right for you, shoot me an email. But our offer has officially ended. If you haven't joined with the discount, or your payment method didn't work and you need help with it, again, shoot me an email and I'll see what I can do to help you. I want to wish you all good luck in your future projects. Even if you don't join my paid course, I'm sure you can find a lot of great tips on my YouTube or follow me on Instagram. No matter where you are right now, if you work hard to improve your skills, I'm sure you will find success. Thanks for watching.